The warning in the cold darkness of space. The human space sector was quiet, calm, and orderly. Ships drifted silently between the stars, carrying traders, explorers, and patrols. The humans had built their space empire not with sheer force, but with careful planning, intelligence, and teamwork. Their fleets were not the largest, but their strategy made them feared and respected. On the distant edge of this peaceful region, the Empire sat in its massive command station, its leaders observing the stars through giant observation decks. The Empire was proud, ambitious, and used to getting what it wanted. They had expanded across countless systems, crushing resistance with overwhelming firepower. But human space was different, small yet surprisingly strong. The Empire had been warned not to enter, not to test their patience. The Human Council had sent messages through countless channels repeating the warning. Stay away from human space, respect our borders. Do not enter. Every message was clear. Direct and polite, yet firm, yet the Empire laughed at the warnings. The commanders called a secret council in the central chamber, a place where only the highest-ranked leaders could enter. The room was filled with a low hum of energy and the soft glow of holoscreens showing the maps of human space. Admiral Corvin, the oldest and most cunning of the Empire's commanders, leaned over the main table. They think they can scare us with words. They have no idea what we are capable of, he said. His eyes glinted with pride and arrogance. The younger commanders nodded, eager to prove themselves. Their fleets are small, scattered, and weak. We will enter human space and show them the power of the Empire, said Commander Litha. Her voice confident and cold, but not everyone in the council agreed. A quiet officer named Rallon raised his hand. We should be careful. Admiral, humans are clever. They may appear weak, but they know their space better than we do. His voice was calm but serious. Corvin waved him off. Caution is for the weak. We are the Empire. Nothing can stop us. He turned back to the holomap, showing the star systems of human space. Prepare the fleet. We enter at dawn. Let them see the might of the Empire. Meanwhile, in the Human Council chambers, alarms sounded as the new warnings came in. The human leaders studied the Empire's movements with concern. They will not listen. They never do, said High Chancellor Maya, her fingers tapping nervously on the table. Her advisors looked worried, but she remained calm. We must prepare. We cannot rely on diplomacy alone. Our patrols need to be ready, every station. Every ship must be alert, she said. Her voice carried authority, yet a hint of fear, for even she knew the Empire's power across the human colonies. Life continued as usual. Traders moved goods. Children played under protective domes. Scientists worked in labs, and patrol ships conducted routine scans. Most citizens were unaware of the looming danger, yet in the military command centers, every sensor and radar showed the approaching Empire fleet. Thousands of ships, massive, gleaming, and armed to the teeth. They moved like a shadow across the stars. Silent but deadly, back in the Empire's council room. Preparations were fast and meticulous. Fleets were readied, crews trained, and weapons primed. Messages were sent to every ship. Human space awaits. There will be no mercy. Only victory. The commanders smiled, proud and excited. They believed this would be an easy conquest, a simple demonstration of their superiority. But hidden in the darkness of the human sector, human scouts watched, noting every movement, every pattern, every mistake. Humans were ready, clever, and patient, waiting for the moment to strike. As the Empire fleet began its journey, the stars seemed to shimmer differently. The silence of space carried a sense of tension, a quiet warning that even the mighty could fall. Admiral Corvin stared ahead, confident and unafraid. They will see the Empire. They will learn their place, he said, yet a small voice in the back of his mind whispered a doubt. Ignored and buried, somewhere out there. The humans were preparing, watching, and waiting. They would not surrender easily. They never did, and so, the first step of a dangerous game began. The Empire moved forward, ignoring every warning, entering a space where every star, every planet, and every ship could become a battlefield. In human space, the quiet would not last. The warning had been given, and it had been ignored. Now the humans would respond. In ways the Empire could never imagine. First contact, the Empire fleet moved like a shadow through human space. Massive ships cutting silently through the darkness. Their weapons glinted faintly under distant starlight. Each vessel was a fortress, carrying crews trained for war and destruction. Yet the humans were not afraid. They had watched the Empire approach. And they were ready. On the outskirts of human space, a small human patrol ship glided between asteroid fields, its sensors scanning for unusual activity. Suddenly, a blip appeared on the screen. A cluster of enormous ships. The captain, Lieutenant Arlen, leaned closer. "This is not a drill, sir. The Empire is here," he said, his voice steady but tense. Back in the human command center, alarms rang and lights flashed red. High Chancellor Maya stood, watching the reports pour in. "They are inside our borders." They ignored every warning. "Prepare all defenses," she commanded. Her calm voice carried urgency, spreading focus to every officer. The first encounter happened near a minor human trade route. The Empire scouts moved ahead of the main fleet, scanning and probing, hoping to find weakness. Lieutenant Arlen's patrol spotted one of the scouts lurking near an asteroid cluster. He called for permission to engage. "We cannot allow them to advance. They may underestimate us," he said, with careful precision. Arlen maneuvered his ship around the asteroids, using the shadows to hide. The Empire scout detected something moving, scanning rapidly. Its sensors locked onto the human patrol ship, thinking it an insignificant target, but the humans were clever. And their technology, though smaller, was advanced in stealth and strategy. Arlen sent a signal, jamming the scout's communication, then fired a precise burst of energy, disabling the scout's engines. The Empire commander on the scout was furious. "How can such a small ship dare attack us?" he barked, his voice full of disbelief. His crew scrambled to respond, but the human ship vanished into the asteroid shadows, leaving confusion behind. Meanwhile, the Empire fleet continued to move, unaware that humans had noticed their every action. Sensors and scouts sent constant updates to human command. Every move, every formation was studied, and weaknesses were mapped. The humans were patient, waiting for the right moment. Their goal was not to destroy, but to delay and confuse. In the Empire's command station, Admiral Corvin received reports from the scouts. "Minor resistance, nothing we cannot handle," he said. Confident and proud, he dismissed the first encounter as unimportant. "Focus on the main fleet. They are mere pests, not soldiers," he commanded, yet deep down, a flicker of doubt passed through his mind. Quickly ignored. Humans, however, saw the importance of every action. Every small victory would count, and every mistake of the Empire could be turned into advantage. The patrol ships spread out, creating false signals, decoys, and traps. The Empire scanned, attacked, and chased shadows, wasting time and energy. As the first real skirmish began near a small human colony, civilians had been evacuated, leaving only the military and automated defenses. Energy blasts lit the space around the colony, hitting shields and causing small explosions. The humans used every tactic they could, from speed, stealth, to clever maneuvering. They forced the Empire to slow down, rethink, and react back on the human command deck. High Chancellor Maya observed the battle. Her eyes sharp and focused, they think they are unstoppable. But humans do not surrender easily. Every ship, every pilot, every strategy matters now, she said, her voice calm, yet filled with determination. Meanwhile, Arlen and his patrol returned, reporting their success. The scout is disabled. Sir, but more are coming, we must stay ready, he said. The humans knew this was only the beginning. The Empire would not give up easily, and their arrogance could be dangerous. The Empire's main fleet finally came into view of the human colonies, massive ships casting shadows over planets, their weapons charged, their crews ready for battle. Yet humans were waiting, watching, and preparing. Their intelligence and patience would be their greatest weapon. And so the first contact had been made. The Empire had entered human space, ignoring warnings, confident in their power. But the humans were clever, organized, and ready. The quiet peace of human space had ended. The game of strategy, wits, and courage had begun. And neither side knew how it would truly end. The shadows of the stars carried tension. Every move mattered. Every choice could lead to victory or disaster. The humans were not just defending space. They were defending their home, their people, and their pride. And in this first contact, the message was clear. Human space would not be conquered easily. Battle of wits. The Empire fleet had entered deeper into human space, stretching across the star systems like a shadow. Their massive ships gleamed under the distant suns, their weapons ready, yet humans were not afraid. They had been waiting, watching, and planning. Every move of the Empire had been noted, studied, and countered. Lieutenant Arlen and his patrol ships moved quickly through asteroid belts, nebula clouds, and empty star fields. They set traps for the Empire scouts, laying false signals and decoys. Every minor skirmish tested the Empire's patience, making them unsure of what was real. The Empire, proud and arrogant, thought the humans were weak, but each tactic surprised them. On the Empire command bridge, Admiral Corbin frowned as reports came in. How can such small ships cause delays? He growled. The fleet was large, powerful, and experienced. Yet the humans used clever maneuvers, attacking, disappearing, and forcing the Empire to chase shadows. Commander Litha tried to reassure him. They are clever, but small. We will crush them soon, she said, her voice confident, yet hiding worry. Meanwhile, humans coordinated attacks from multiple directions. Using speed and strategy instead of raw power, patrols moved like ghosts, striking vulnerable points in the Empire's formation, then vanishing before retaliation could come. They used asteroid fields, debris clouds, and even the natural gravity of planets to confuse the enemy. Every move was carefully calculated, every risk measured. In a sudden skirmish near a gas giant, the humans trapped an Empire cruiser, its weapons disabled by precise targeting, its engines jammed by human technology. The Empire crew panicked, scrambling to respond. But Lieutenant Arlen's small fleet moved with precision, cutting off escape routes and forcing surrender. The humans celebrated quietly, knowing that even a small victory mattered. Back on the Empire station, Admiral Corbin's pride was wounded. These humans are cleverer than I expected, he admitted quietly. His officers tried to reassure him, but the truth was clear. The humans were not weak, they were strategic, patient, and resourceful. He realized that brute force alone would not win this war. Something more was needed. High Chancellor Maya watched the battle unfold from the human command center. Calm and focused, she issued orders. Every ship must follow the plan. Every crew must be ready. We cannot allow mistakes. Remember, this is our home. We fight with our minds and courage. humans responded quickly, following her commands with precision. Their strategy was working, slowing the Empire, and forcing them to waste resources in the middle of the battle. A human hero emerged, Captain Solara, commanding a small but fast attack ship. She moved through enemy lines with daring skill, disabling weapons, redirecting ships, and leading decoys. Her quick thinking saved human patrols and caused confusion among the Empire crews. "Follow my lead. Trust the plan. We can win this," she said over the comms. Her voice steady. The Empire fleet struggled to adapt. Their large ships were powerful but slow. Their strategy relied on overwhelming numbers. Humans used intelligence and agility to turn every advantage. Small skirmishes multiplied, forming a network of traps and ambushes. The Empire became frustrated, wasting time and energy trying to predict human movements on a distant moon. A human research station sent signals that created false energy signatures, drawing Empire ships into dangerous terrain. They collided with asteroids and gas clouds. Some suffering minor damage, humans celebrated quietly, every small victory boosting morale. The Empire underestimated them, thinking humans were weak. But the clever tactics proved otherwise. The battle of wits continued, with humans striking where the Empire did not expect, and retreating before a counterattack could happen. Every engagement showed the Empire's pride clashing with human intelligence. The humans were not trying to destroy the fleet, only to slow them, test them, and show that human space was not easy to conquer. As night fell over distant planets, the human command center remained vigilant. Every report analyzed, every maneuver planned. The Empire had power, but humans had strategy, patience, and courage. The first real battle was not won by weapons, but by brains, creativity, and clever thinking. The humans proved that even a small force could challenge a mighty empire if they used their minds. And so, the battle of wits raged on. Shadows and light danced across the stars as humans and the Empire tested each other. Neither side fully victorious, yet each learning, adapting, and preparing for the next move. The stakes grew higher, the tension sharper. The game had only begun, and the humans had shown that they would not be conquered easily. Turning the tide, the humans had proven they were clever. But the Empire still believed in their overwhelming power. Their massive ships moved through human space, firing weapons and testing defenses. Yet humans were ready, using strategy, speed, and intelligence to counter every attack. Every engagement now carried higher stakes, and the tension in space was almost tangible. Captain Solara led her fleet through a dangerous asteroid field. Using the terrain to their advantage, her small ships darted between giant rocks. Confusing the Empire cruisers, she sent false signals, making the Empire believe reinforcements were arriving. Then, at the perfect moment, her fleet struck the enemy's weakest points, disabling weapons and engines with precision. The Empire crews were stunned, struggling to respond. Back on the human command deck, High Chancellor Maya smiled quietly. "This is our chance. Focus on their weaknesses. Every small victory counts," she said. Humans coordinated attacks across multiple systems, using advanced sensors, stealth technology, and clever misdirection. They turned the Empire's confidence into confusion, forcing them to make mistakes. Admiral Corvin watched reports coming in. His pride and patience were being tested. "How is this possible?" "They are only humans," he muttered. Commander Litha tried to reassure him. But the fleet's setbacks were mounting. The Empire had underestimated humans at every step. Their arrogance had blinded them, meanwhile. Lieutenant Arlen led a daring strike against an Empire supply convoy. Using speed and stealth, his small fleet disabled engines, hijacked communications, and captured key supplies. The Empire was forced to slow down, divert resources, and repair damages. Each human action was a message. Human space could not be conquered by force alone. On a remote planet, humans activated hidden defense stations, long prepared for a possible invasion. Energy shields rose, covering cities and military bases. Mines and automated defenses lined space lanes. Every trap and countermeasure slowed the Empire. Causing delays and confusion, the humans had turned the tide. Using intelligence instead of raw firepower, Captain Solara coordinated attacks with Lieutenant Arlen, striking multiple Empire ships simultaneously. Their small forces moved like ghosts, appearing where the Empire least expected. The massive fleet struggled to adapt. Their numbers and weapons were powerful. But slow and predictable, the humans used every advantage. Every trick and every plan, Admiral Corvin's anger grew. Yet he was forced to acknowledge the human skill. They fight with their minds as much as their weapons, he admitted quietly. The Empire fleet had suffered losses, minor at first, but significant enough to slow their advance. The humans had turned the tide, showing that brains could outmatch brute force. High Chancellor Maya watched every battle unfold, calm and focused. She gave orders that combined defense and offense. Humans used misinformation to lure the Empire into traps, attacked supply lines, and controlled key positions. Every victory boosted morale. Every clever maneuver demonstrated that human space was not to be taken lightly. The humans also revealed a hidden technological advantage. A device capable of jamming the Empire's communications temporarily. Chaos spread through the Empire fleet as commanders could not coordinate effectively. Humans struck precisely during these moments, hitting weak points, disabling weapons, and forcing retreats. The Empire's pride was wounded. Their strategy disrupted in the midst of the chaos. Captain Solara received a message from High Chancellor Maya. You have done well, but stay vigilant. The Empire will not give up easily, she said. Solara nodded, understanding that the battle was far from over. Yet for the first time, humans felt confident. They had proven that even a mighty empire could be challenged with intelligence, courage, and strategy. The Empire fleet began to retreat slightly. Regrouping after unexpected losses, Admiral Corvin's face was stern, yet thoughtful. We will return stronger. This is not the end, he said. The humans had turned the tide for now, but the war was far from over. Shadows of space carried the tension of battles fought and those yet to come. And so, human space had shown its strength, not through overwhelming power, but through clever strategy, teamwork, and courage. The Empire learned that arrogance could lead to mistakes, and even the smallest force could challenge the mighty. The humans had gained hope, momentum, and confidence, but they knew the Empire would return, stronger and more determined. The stars of human space glimmered with the promise of resistance, courage, and ingenuity. The battle was far from over. But humans had proven one thing. They would not surrender. They would defend their home. And they could turn the tide against even the greatest empire. Victory or consequences, the Empire fleet had suffered unexpected losses. Its pride wounded, and its commanders frustrated. Human space had proven its strength, not through sheer numbers, but through clever strategy, teamwork, and courage. The humans had delayed the Empire, forced mistakes, and shown that even a small force could challenge a mighty enemy. Captain Solara led her fleet through the final skirmishes near the outer colonies. Her ships moved with precision, striking weak points in the Empire formation, disabling engines, weapons, and communications. The Empire crew struggled to respond. They were powerful, but slow and unprepared for humans' cunning. High Chancellor Maya watched from